Got me feeling like
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my dry skin girl approved matte yet glowy makeup tutorial.
I just hope that we're still okay. You always pick me up and let me.
So basically, if you have dry skin but you love a matte look, you need to do your makeup like this. I'm going to show you the science-backed way to stay matte with a little bit of glow without looking crusty. And I have the formula to keep your skin looking fresh and glowy like this. Whether you have dry skin, oily skin, combo skin, is still going to look good underneath. Before we get into this video, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button for more videos from me. Let's get into this video. Okay, so the first step of my clean girl makeup routine is skin prep. If you've ever wondered why your makeup might sit on top of your skin almost like a skin mask, it's usually because you're not prepping your skin right. Makeup sticks a lot better to hydrated, moisturized, and balanced skin than it does to dry, flaky patches that are on your skin. So a few products that I really like to use to prime my skin or to prep my skin before going in with makeup are these. So the first product is Niacinamide. This is really good for strengthening your skin barrier. It also helps to fade dark spots, and it's also good at helping to control sebum. I think a big myth that a lot of people believe is that if you have oilier skin, you don't want to moisturize your skin, but it's actually the opposite. If you have oilier skin, you really need to be hydrating and moisturizing your skin, because otherwise your skin is actually going to respond to the dryness by producing even more oil. So it's really important, whether you have dry skin or oily skin, that you're really prepping your skin underneath. So I have drier skin. Either way, these products can be used no matter what skin type you have. Another product that I really like to use is hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is going to pull in moisture to your skin and keep it nice and hydrated. It is a powerful molecule that can hold almost 1,000 times its weight in water. This is the Biossance Squalene Omega Repair Cream. Squalene actually mimics the natural oils in our skin, so it helps to hydrate my skin without making me look greasy. So these are products that no matter what skin type you have, they will work. And the last step that I can never go without is sunscreen. Sunscreen not only protects your skin from the sun's harmful UV rays, but it also prevents hyperpigmentation from worsening. And a lot of times with darker skin, we tend to be a lot more prone to post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So using sunscreen helps to reduce the risk of hyperpigmentation, and it actually helps make it look better over time. So before I go in with any foundation, I really like to prime my skin. I always start with the Fenty Beauty Mattifying Primer because I like my base to be smooth, shine-free, but still not drying. I know that I said that I have dry skin, but I actually prefer a matte finish because I feel like it lasts a lot longer throughout the day and leaves me looking a lot more polished. This primer is silicone based, meaning that it works by filling in fine lines in pores while creating a smooth, even base for makeup to grip onto. I also really love this primer because when you apply it, unlike other primers that can leave your skin feeling really tight and sticky, it has a really lightweight feel to it. I use the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Skin Tint because it lets my skin peek through. Matte does not mean mask. You still want to look really fresh throughout the day, especially if you're going for that kind of clean girl aesthetic. I use my Ultra Buff brush from Real Techniques to blend out my base.
You always pick me up and let me down.
I really love that. I don't know if you guys can kind of see how my skin is still peeking through. Another great thing about using this Easy Drop Tint Stick is that a lightweight base moves so much better throughout the day. What I mean by that is that it creases a lot less, so that really helps with it lasting throughout the entire day. So before I go in and do anything else, I quickly fill in my brows. And how I fill in my brows is I like to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade Dark Brown. I start by just literally brushing my eyebrows up and brushing them out the way. So to fill in my brows, I keep it very, very light. I take a lot of feathery strokes, and you see it's not too much darker than my faded out eyebrows. It's almost like the exact same color, so it's not too harsh or too dark, and I kind of almost create like a fluffy brow effect in the front. Follow. You guys can just see I take lots of little strokes. The next step for my eyebrows is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Gel. This is just a clear brow gel, and it helps them to just stay in place all day, and especially someone that has like thin eyebrows, this helps them to look a little bit thicker as well. So it has this really nice brush So I take it and I press the gel down really nice and flat onto my eyebrow hairs, and after I do that, I brush the eyebrow hairs like kind of up. So now it's time to conceal. So before I go in and brighten any areas, I like to go in with a little bit of a more skin tone. So same skin tone concealer. I buy this one from the drugstore. It's the Maybelline Instant Eraser Corrector, and it's in the shade 148. So I just put this a little bit underneath my eyes to add a little extra coverage under that area, because I tend to deal with under eye bags and darkness under my eyes, and that just helps to create a nice little base before I go in and highlight under my eyes. And then I just go in with this lightweight concealer brush and blend that out in under my eyes.
Hope that we're still okay. You always pick me up and
Then I'm going to go in with my Fenty Beauty Concealer in the shade 400N. I apply this to the inner corners of my eyes because it helps to brighten shadows and lift my face. I also apply it to my T-zone, so my forehead, down my nose, and a little bit on my chin. And that helps to reflect light and add structure to my face, so that way I don't have to do too much heavy contouring. If I put too much concealer, I can start to look like a really badly rendered Sims character, so we do not do that here. As you can see, placement really is key.
just hope that we're still okay. You always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't.
Okay, now I'm gonna go in with my Ultra Buff brush from Real Techniques to blend this all out.
Damned if we give in.
I know that some people really love to use a beauty blender to blend all their makeup together. Honestly, really anti-beauty blender. Beauty blenders and beauty sponges, they're sponges, so they grow bacteria. I'll put the name across the screen. That type of bacteria can cause you to get acne, and if you have oil, dirt, sweat, and grease on your face, and then you're putting something that literally has bacteria on that, you're more likely to break out. Don't use makeup sponges at all. I've completely done away with them because my skin's just too sensitive for that. And you guys can see how that instantly added so much more structure to my face and lifted my face. So now we're gonna move on to contouring. I use the Tinted Blur Sculpt Stick from Nude Sticks. And contouring is literally a trick of light. Shadows make areas recede or look smaller, while highlights bring areas forward and make them look larger. So for contouring, placement is key. Again, before I used to contour like this, but now I'm like that.
And I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned
If you have a small forehead like me, I don't actually go crazy with the contouring because I have like a 3 head. I know you probably can't even tell here, but you see, if I put my 4th finger out, it goes. I have a very small forehead. I'm going in with my Real Techniques flat contour brush. To blend in my contour, I like to go like this. I kind of like pat it in first to start getting it to blend out, and then after that I start to lift. Like I blend up and I lift up, and then I'm gonna kind of do the same thing on my forehead. I blend up and I'm gonna go here along my jawline. I really love contouring my nose because it helps to add a lot of shape and definition to my nose. So I go in and I like to take that kind of brown over my eyelid and kind of in here to create depth. Go down, I blend.
and I always pick you up and let you down.
So the next step is blush, and I'm going in with 2 different colors. These liquid blushes are from Rare Beauty. They're in the shade Joy and in the shade Happy. Blush will lift your face, and using multiple colors actually helps to create a more natural gradient instead of just creating a flat pink patch. I'm going in first with Joy, and I kind of do like 2 taps. That's kind of what it looks like. Then I'm gonna go in with the shade Happy, and this is like more of a pinky blush. I'm gonna put that up here. I used to only put blush on my cheeks, but then I realized the crazier the blush placement, like the more chic you look. Okay, so to blend it out, I go in with my Ultra Buff brush again with whatever residual concealer and foundation is in there, and I kind of first start by kind of mixing it all up, and then I work it up like that.
I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around,
And then I take whatever's kind of left on the brush and I just tap that over my nose. For highlighter, I'm using the Rare Beauty liquid highlighter in the shade Flaunt. I focus on applying this to the high points of my face. I'm obsessed with this liquid highlighter because it gives this lit from within glow without being glittery or chunky. It has this smooth, almost serum-like texture that just really melts into your skin. And then for down my nose, now that we've done all of the liquid products, let me give you guys kind of a shot of how everything is looking. So there are no harsh lines on my face anywhere. As I said, this is a clean, girl focused look. It is not gonna have harsh lines. It's gonna be soft and glowing from within. Now we're gonna move on to the next step, which is powdering. So the way that powder works is that it works by absorbing oil, but using the right shades in the right places prevents a flat, dull look. So I actually use 3 different setting powders every time that I do my makeup. The first one I have is from Huda Beauty in the shade Cinnamon Bun. And then I have 2 Laura Mercier setting powders. This one is in the shade Translucent Honey, and this one is just in the shade Translucent. I love to use the Huda Beauty to set all over my face because it's a skin tone powder and it sets my face without removing the warmth that's in my skin. Also, another important step is I'll actually take some of this Huda Beauty powder and I'll actually put it over my eyebrows. Very, very lightly. I just kind of go over my eyebrows with it. And so that's so they don't look shiny throughout the day. I also put it over, if you notice, I never put any concealer or any sort of powder on my eyelids. That's because I always get creasing on my eyelids whenever I put on concealer, and I feel like that just does not look good. So I just don't put anything on there, and I'll show you guys what I do with that a little bit later. Now I go in with the Translucent Honey Laura Mercier powder, and this again adds warmth to the areas that I want to look brighter or bring forward on my face. So I'm going to place this under here. Start with underneath my eyes. Also, if you're still baking your face for like 10 minutes, sis, we left that in 2016. Tapping in your powder strategically actually gives you a more fresh and airbrushed look. It looks almost like you're wearing a filter in real life when you just do this. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder now. And this is my under eye and nose trick for a blurred and soft focus effect. And that's what this is like what's gonna give you that my skin has a filter on in real life effect. So I put this underneath my eyes and pressing this into your skin with a brush, like you're pressing it in. And then I put it down my nose as well. For bronzer, I'm using the One Size Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio. It's the medium dark trio. I use the cooler shade for focusing on my contours. This palette is so good because it comes with 3 different shades that lets me customize my contour and bronzing. I love that it's not just one flat shade. It has a mix of cool, neutral, and warm tones, so I can sculpt, warm up my face, and blend everything seamlessly. I also use that same cooler shade to contour down my nose. Now for blush, again, I told you guys that blush, you should use multiple colors. So I'm using, again, from One Size, I'm using 2 blushes. I'm using the 3D Blush Trio in the shade Fat ASS, and then I'm also using the 3D Blush Trio in Rich BETCH. Trying to stay family friendly here. I love this one, which is the Fat ASS. It's this beautiful, vibrant pink that gives that fresh, youthful flush. I love using it on the apples of my cheeks and then kind of blending it up. This shade is a bit deeper and more muted, so it gives more of a sultry, sculpted cheek look. Again, I don't like to look crazy, so I go in and I use my Ultra Buff brush and I blend that all together into my skin. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to dust off the remaining powder that's kind of sitting on my face. I guess in theory you could call this baking, but I don't think it's anything like the baking that I used to do back in 2016. But I basically just take my Ultra Buffing brush and I just kind of blend what's left into my skin. So I do 2 rounds of setting spray. I start with the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Matte Long Lasting Makeup Setting Spray, and then I go in with the One Size Until Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. So I start off with the Urban Decay setting spray because that kind of just locks in my base, but then I finish it off with this Until Dawn setting spray because this is going to make sure that it locks it in for all day hold. So ooh, the smell. So I know I mentioned earlier that I don't do any concealer on my eyelids because I don't like when it starts to crease, and I think that just does not look good. So how I actually get around this is I take the One Size Bronze and Sculpt Trio, and I take this lighter shade up here, mix a little bit of these two, and I actually pat that all over my eyelids, but it doesn't crease throughout the day. So I kind of put it all over here like this, and then I go in with like a fluffier blending brush, and I just kind of buff that all out into the crease of my eye. So this helps me to avoid worrying about creasing for the entire day. So when I look down, I'm not having like creasing on my eyelids. And again, we're trying to keep with this like kind of clean girl aesthetic, and I feel like there's nothing clean about having, or clean girl aesthetic about having like creasing on your eyelids. And then depending on the day, I'll go in with the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. I go in with matte number 11, which is a dark brown shade, this one right here, and I use that to create a tiny little wing on the outer portion of my eyes. I like tubing mascara because I don't like waterproof mascara because it rips my eyelashes out and it's really hard to take it off. But I also hate when my mascara runs down onto my lower waterline. This one's from L'Oreal Paris. So I let that kind of dry with the white mascara on first. So I line with the Kylie Cosmetics Precision Pout Lip Liner in the shade Cocoa. It's like a dark brown lip liner, and I just follow my natural lip line. I used to overline my lips, and you guys used to always tell me, you know, stop with the overlining. I don't want to listen because, you know, that was the trend, but I just follow my natural lip line. And then I finish off with the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. That is a very hard Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. And this is in the shade Cocoa Cream. It adds hydration to my lips and a little bit more fullness without me looking overdone. And there you go. This is my clean girl matte makeup routine. And it's science-backed luxury for your skin. Let me know in the comments if you're team matte or if you're team dewy. If you found this makeup video to be very helpful and you thought I gave really great tips, be sure to hit the thumbs up button so I know that you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button down below for more. And until next time, love you guys. Bye.